those that don't know, that was the Aggie War Hymn, I believe. So great way to start that off. By the way, I just learned I have a 3-year-old grandchild. I don't know who that child is. I turned to Marty and I said, wow, our family just grew and I have no idea. So anyway, thank you, Mayor. Where'd you go? Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate your comments. When I was telling my grandchildren about becoming the president of ICMA, I was telling them about what was going to happen today and everything. And one of the things that they immediately responded, they were so excited. Poppy, that is so cool that you're going to be indicted. No, I'm not indicted. Wait, it gets better. Oh, you're going to be incarcerated. It's like, no, this is the kicker. You're going to be induced. No, the word is introduced. So anyway, the power of words and the humbling experience of working with, of being loved by the small ones. As I've traveled around and visited with our members, I've had an opportunity to really identify more about that common bond that we have. And I was trying to find the words, and when I was out walking, I found, or came across, of all things, a movie trailer for Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. I should have paid attention to the title, but there were some phrases in there that really caught my attention, that they resonated with me.
All creating concern.
1.5 million people
off of the street.
There are multiple piles.
21-page lawsuit.
Our lives are not defined by any one action.
It's organized after the
Our lives are the sum of our choices.
The city budget for the next fiscal year.
At this downtown area.
When the need for certainty is absolute and the odds are deemed impossible, the mission falls to him.
Should he choose to accept?
So those phrases, the first being when the need for certainty is absolute. In our role, what we do, we have to provide certainty. We have to have purpose in our words and our actions, because that provides stability to our councils, to our organizations, and to our community. The next phrase, when the odds are deemed impossible, the mission falls to us. Well, how many times have we had things just sent to us, or we receive things when it's divisive, or the community is having a real problem, or there's a project that is just off the rails? Well, that is our responsibility to find a resolution, to find a solution that meets the needs of our community. And then finally, should we choose to accept? I look around in this room and I know that we've made that choice. That choice actually reflects one of my favorite quotes. Many of us are familiar with it, by President Theodore Roosevelt. It is not the critic who counts. It is the man, it is the woman, it is the person in the arena, standing in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood. Doesn't that just provide just a great picture of who we are, that spirit of who we are? We are here for a purpose. We are here to serve our communities. And that purpose is why I stand before you. Our profession was born at a time when the government was filled with patronage, corruption, graft, and inefficiency. A group of professionals came together and they said, what can we do? What can we do to regain the trust of the very public we serve? I know that we have been in a lot of different challenges, but as I have traveled across the country and into other countries, I've had an opportunity to hear your stories and see the progress that you make. The stories like one of our assistant city managers whose community was being consumed by fire. The fire was coming within blocks of her own home. She sent her family away, going to the office, not knowing even that the next day her home would be there. Or another city manager who was fleeing to the second floor, who knew that at some way that they were going to have to navigate themselves to the office, to the emergency operations center, so that they could lead their community and lead their organization. Some of you, like myself, have had to or been asked to provide a eulogy for a fallen team member, someone who lost their life on the job or had lost a battle with cancer, for example. Standing with grief in one hand and with our duty in the other hand, with those assembled looking to us to provide the heart of our organization. This past year, many of us faced things like natural disasters, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, windstorms, hailstorms, budget reductions from the federal and state government that impacted people's lives that we serve, that impacted our own organizations, where we didn't have the resources to even pay those salaries any longer. Some of you have had to stand in the aftermath of the unthinkable, a mass casualty event. And I've looked in your eyes and I've heard you say that you've questioned your own faith, the meaning of all this. And yet you still rose to serve that community, to help lead that community out of the struggle that they are going through. We don't seek the spotlight. We serve something greater than ourselves. The spotlight finds us. We are the center of tension, not the center of attention. We are the quiet guardians of our community's soul. Because when the moment arises, we rise. This responsibility is embodied in the Athenian Oath. You've heard that mentioned a few times here. That embodiment is actually carried out in our Declaration of Ideals for ICMA. The idea, the belief that we are going to leave this place greater and more beautiful than it was given to us. How do we do that? We do that because we give through the voice of our code of ethics. Our code of ethics are our anchor. They serve to secure us when the winds of politics or the crises that are going on try to blow us off course. Our integrity is not negotiable. We've heard that public service is a calling. Some of us refer to that. And Arthur Brooks talked about this a little the other day on Sunday. I would suggest to you that public service, our calling, is actually an expression of love. In John Dixon's book, Humilitas, he defines humility as the noble choice to forego your status, to deploy your resources, to use your influence for the benefit of others first. There are times when we feel like we are Atlas. Anytime I talk to a retiree, the first thing they say is their shoulders have been lifted up. But we know that we are only successful because of the people that surround us. So I want to take a moment to say thank you. The mayor has already listed out everybody, so I am now just going to say thank you to the mayor, the council, to all our mayors and councils for the trust that you instow in us and allow us to be able to do what we're able to do to the benefit together to fulfill the desires of our community. I want to say thank you to my staff. Where are y'all? Okay, good. I want to say thank you to my staff because it's true. I've done a lot more traveling than I thought I was going to be doing, and they've done a phenomenal job taking care of things for us. But more importantly, they believe in that hedgehog, building community through public service, and all of our staffs do that. I'd like to say thank you. Thank you to ICMA, to the ICMA Executive Board, to the staff, to Julia and to Tanya, for their leadership this past year. It's been a tough year. Their perseverance has taught me a lot. And then finally, I'd like to say thank you to my family, to my wife, Lisa. Where are you? Right there. I knew I was going to do it. 41 years, she has stood beside me. You do all this practice and it really just goes out the window when you're standing up here. So if you ever have a chance to do that, just remember that. But I also want to say thank you to Nicole and Michelle and Lauren, to their families and my grandchildren. They really are the joy of my life. I am so deeply grateful to them. You know, I love you more than words can express. And, you know, the thing about this job is that it requires our time, our energy, and our presence. And we make sacrifices. We chose to do this profession. Our families didn't. And so those sacrifices like missed dinners, holidays cut short, social media trolls, all those kinds of things that impact our families, you know, that is something that we have to express on a regular basis to them. Thank you for those sacrifices. The ones we talked about, the ones we didn't. And I just want to say to you, I hope I get through that. If I get through this section, we're doing good. Just want to say to you, I love you more than words can express. Thank you very much. And to the members of ICMA, I want to say thank you. Thank you for standing in the arena. Thank you for making a difference, for being the eye in the storm, for being the respite to a tired and sometimes exhausted workforce. We are faithful to this profession because we choose to do it. And ICMA is looking forward to serving you. The only reason we exist is to serve you. At our core, we are here to support you, to foster relationships, to bring knowledge, to make connections. Those are the primary principles of who we are and what we do. Now, you've heard multiple times that we're having a business meeting, so I'm not going to give it away here. And here's the other side of it. Between Julia and Tanya, they pretty much told you what we're going to talk about in the business meeting, so I don't have to do it now. Think about this for a moment. We are an association that has 14,500 members. That sounds like a lot. But more importantly, what I want you to think about is that 14,500 members touch the lives of over 100 million people around the globe. That is the influence that you have. Yeah, now it's worth the clap. That is the influence you have. That is a responsibility, and it is a privilege that we get to serve. There is a quote in the Bible in the book of Esther that basically says something along these lines, and I believe it true for us today, that we have been prepared for times such as this. Go ahead, clap. Yeah, that's good. So together, let us carry the humility of Lincoln at Gettysburg. Let us work to fulfill the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King on the Mall in Washington, D.C. Let us honor the city and county manager who walks into their office every day with purpose. Our call today is as urgent as it was in 1914. We are called to be democracy's light when chaos's darkness comes upon our communities. Because when the moment arises, we cannot flinch. When the moment arises, we cannot fade into the shadows. When the moment arises, we rise. Bless your families. God bless your communities. And together we can rise and above all of this. Thank you.